I'm here with Tom Taylor, writer of All New Wolverine, Superior Iron Man, Injustice, among others. Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. So when did you first decide you wanted to be a writer, and how did you end up becoming one professionally?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I first decided I wanted to be a writer probably in primary school. I remember I wrote a sequel to Lord of the Rings in primary school, as you do. And, you know, it was something I'd always wanted to do. My grandfather was one of the editors of The Age. My uncle's a writer. My cousin was a writer. And it was just something that I always had a kind of knack for as well. I wasn't sure it was going to happen at one stage. I went off and became a childcare worker and a professional juggler. And then, you know, I was always involved in theatre. So I was writing plays, I was in musicals. And then one of my plays, which it won a bunch of awards and stuff, and it was adapted into a comic. And that comic, adapted by Colin Wilson, who lives in Melbourne, that comic about a briefcase on Flinders Street Station got me a job writing Star Wars.
Speaking of, what's it like to play around in the Star Wars universe?
Look, it's amazing. They're some of the greatest toys in the world. The first time you find yourself riding Han Solo and Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia, you're like, this is the bomb. Like, it's exactly as exciting as you imagined it is. Because most people in comics, you know, we're fans first. That's the thing. We're all massive fans. And to be given such great toys, to be given Star Wars, to be given, you know, all the Marvel characters, all the DC characters that I get to ride, it's exciting.
What's it like to see one of your comics, The Deep, being adapted into a TV series?
Look, it's really exciting, and I think we're currently on about 200 territories around the world in multiple languages, and you know, these guys once existed only in my head. And now there are people watching them in almost every country in the world, and it's hard to really describe what that's like. But you know, we've just wrapped on season 2 as well, so that's coming later this year, and I'm still the head writer of that. And it's great being a part of it, and having James as the art director, because he was the artist on the book as well. It's really important.
And how's writing the TV show different to when you wrote the comics?
Look, I think the comics, it's a much smaller production. You know, it's just kind of me and James and maybe Wolf, the editor, and so it's a small thing. Whereas once it becomes a TV series, you know, we have partners in Germany and Technicolor in France and ABC here and DHX in Canada, and so everybody's weighing in. So there's a lot more, I guess, you know, a lot more people putting forward ideas and a lot more compromise having to happen, and just getting to working as a much, much bigger team.
And what advice would you offer to anyone who wanted to become a comic book writer themselves?
Look, just do it. Just write every single day. You know, it's like anything. It's just practice. I told you before that I was a professional juggler at one stage. I did that by standing in a park and dropping things for a year, you know, until I didn't drop it and I could juggle fire and knives over people without killing them. And it's the same with writing. But if you want to write comics, make comics. Don't write a script and send it to someone and say, here, how good am I? Find someone and make comics with them. And make comics that are so good that people have to pay attention.
What are you working on now and coming up that you can talk about?
So currently I'm writing Wolverine. Next month she's teaming up with the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is really fun. Writing Injustice 2, obviously. That's coming out every single week through DC. I can't remember what's happening this week at all. Oh, I think it's the wedding of Green Arrow and Black Canary, so that's really fun. And I don't know, what else? Oh, Justice League Power Rangers. I'm working on the last issue of that, which is as ridiculous as it sounds, but seriously fun as well. And obviously still writing The Deep as well, the TV series, so yeah, it never stops.